tightening our digital screws. This end of 2024 will be overwhelming for companies, public entities, and citizens across Europe. The floodgates have opened to a deluge of regulations that will change how we interact online, how platforms and companies manage our data, and how we ensure protection against cyber threats, artificial intelligence, and our privacy. Failure to comply with these new regulations can result in personal liabilities, severe penalties, and the risk of significant operational losses. Oh, surprise! So, without further ado, let's roll up our sleeves and see what kind of mess we've gotten ourselves into this time. We're starting off strong. The Digital Services Act, or DSA for short, is like the sheriff of the wild digital West. What's its goal? To bring order to the chaos of online platforms and forums, marketplaces, and hosting services operating within the EU. Now it's time to comply with strict liability rules to ensure user safety and content control. No more illegal content, rampant disinformation, or hate speech on networks and forums. The party's over. If the DSA was the sheriff, the Cyber Resilience Act, or CRA, is the builder of the digital fortress. The CRA, which has been in force for a few months, is the EU's response to the increasing cyber attacks affecting both companies and ordinary citizens. Now, all products with digital components sold in the European Union must meet mandatory cybersecurity requirements. In addition, they must report any security incidents to the authorities within 24 hours. Let's move on to the digital giants, those companies that wield more power than some nations. Well, the Digital Markets Act, or DMA, which came into force on March 6, 2024, is here to rein them in a bit. Gone are the days of favoring their own services, blocking competition, or using user data indiscriminately. Will it achieve its goal? Only time will tell. Things are getting serious, friends. Let's move on. When it comes to cybersecurity, there are sectors that are particularly sensitive: energy, healthcare, transport, public administrations, telecommunications. For these sectors, the European Union has created the NIS2 Directive, which came into force on October 18, 2024. NIS2 introduces new obligations for companies operating in these sectors, such as the requirement to have risk management plans, audits, incident detection and response systems, and mechanisms for cooperation between member states. Because, as we already know, in cyberspace there is no truce or borders. Data Act. Sharing data, not headaches. On January 10, 2024, the Data Act came into force, a regulation aimed at facilitating access to and the sharing of data across the European Union. But beware, this isn't just about sharing for the sake of sharing, but doing so securely and respecting users' rights. The Data Act establishes a clear legal framework for data exchange between companies, public administrations, and even citizens. In this way, part of the GDPR is retired. With this regulation, the European Union aims to promote innovation and the development of new data-driven services. AI Act. Europe's answer to artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is advancing by leaps and bounds, and the European Union doesn't want to be left behind. Well, more or less. That's why, at the end of 2023, it approved the AI Act, the first global regulation governing the use of artificial intelligence and its impact on society. Its goal is to ensure that artificial intelligence is used ethically, responsibly, and safely. It also expressly prohibits certain uses of artificial intelligence that are deemed unacceptable, such as subliminal manipulation or social scoring. GPSR. Better safe than sorry or pulling products from the market. This regulation, which will become mandatory from December 13, 2024, governs the safety of non-food products and services within the European Union. What's its goal? To ensure that products sold in the European market are safe for consumers. And we're not just talking about toys or appliances, but also products with digital components like smartphones, computers, and even connected cars and the services attached to them. The GPSR introduces new obligations for manufacturers, importers, and distributors, who must ensure that their products meet safety requirements and have the necessary documentation. So, what's next? The new European regulations are already here, and they're here to stay. Failing to comply with them could be extremely painful. It's time to get serious about cybersecurity, data protection, and the ethical use of new technologies. Otherwise, the consequences, we repeat, could be very severe. Let's hope our leaders bother to comply and enforce them.